Well, we have some big news just coming in. It seems like a woman has created panic at City Railway Station at this point in time. A quarantine stamped woman was seen roaming in the city. Now, for the past 2 days, there have been several of these people who have been doing the same. They have been stamped, but even after that, they want to travel everywhere. This morning as well, there was one person who was identified with this particular stamp, and then a few of the alert vigilant residents, they alerted the Upalpet police. They arrived at the spot, they sent him to the hospital. But now, yet again, at the railway station, the city railway station, yet another woman who is walking around freely when she's been asked to stay at home. Quarantine stamped woman was seen roaming in the city railway station, and she had just returned to Bengaluru from Dubai on Saturday. A woman was asked to remain under home quarantine for 14 days, but here we see roaming around freely.
C category.
Woman reached a railway station to board a train to Delhi, and the RPF police called the ambulance to shift stamped woman.
14 दिन तक रहने के लिए बोल रहे हैं ना दिखाओ ऐसे हाथ आप कहाँ से आपकी पासपोर्ट कहाँ है कब से आप एयरपोर्ट को कब भाई कल आए क्या आज सुबह आए चलेगा ओके
फिर उन्होंने उतारा
Well, for more on this, I'm joined in by my colleague Adarsh on the phone line. Well, Adarsh, here we see another person who has been stamped with home quarantine, home isolation for 14 days. She was seen taking a stroll at the city railway station, even trying to board a train. But because they have suspended all the services, the RPF, the Railway Protection Force, they have called in the ambulance and they have sent her to the hospital. Why are people not understanding the importance and the gravity of the situation?
Well, yes, indeed, Suraj, at this point in time, with this latest incident, in a string of such incidents, it only goes on to show as to how home quarantining is really not taking any effect on a few people. Now, they're not able to really subject themselves into confined spaces for an extended period of time. So that's why you have a case where they're really trying to get out of that regulated space. And really break that advisory and go ahead and try and take the train, because somewhere they feel as though if they were to take the train, then they can get away with it, unlike at the airports, because they clearly have a stamp. So they somehow try to conceal these stamps or maybe they feel confident enough to board the trains. But nonetheless, what really also holds common is the fact that you have a case where trains have now slowly are turning to be the carriers of COVID-19. So all of these people who've been either asked to stay in home isolation, home quarantine, or the positive cases, you have all of them getting linked to the railway stations, to the trains. So obviously, while the railways continue to function, you have people really trying to depend on the services and ensure that they get to really travel to their destination. But that obviously is coming at a price. It is coming at a price of safety of so many people, of hundreds and thousands of people that you're talking about, if in case they're really traveling by train. So yesterday also we've seen a string of such incidents, and even as you were mentioning, today morning itself we had another incident where we had one of the person who had a stamp on his hand, which clearly indicated that he was supposed to be on home quarantine, was found loitering around at near the Majestic. So yes, such incidents are only going on to increase. And yes, what can the officials really do? They can at least put these stamps and request the people to contain themselves to their homes. But beyond that, a lot really rests in what an individual does about it. There needs to be a sense of responsibility, and there needs to be a sense of accountability in each and every individual of the country and the world, in fact, to really ensure that they are not the reason for the further spread of COVID-19. And whatever measures are really being taken on the ground by the government officials, are really thrown to the wind if nothing is done from our end. If we do not really buck up and ensure that we are with the government officials and we will follow their rules and regulations that are being laid down because it is for our good. If we do not do that, then it is our loss. So, yes, this is again yet another classic example of how you have another case of an individual flouting those norms. So it remains to be seen as to how this very news will be tightened going forward, Suraj.